Hey there, welcome back to the Luxury State of Mind podcast. My name is Dammy, and on this podcast, my goal is to encourage you to live your version of luxury. So we redefine luxury as living authentically. And on this episode, I am so excited because I actually have one of my clients who has walked through the Luxury State of Mind one-on-one coaching program and has been able to create amazing results in her life in the areas of speaking, communication, as well as advancing in her career. So we're going to be talking to her and sharing, or she's going to actually be sharing her experience working with me one-on-one, as well as how she's been able to create the different opportunities since working together. So I would love to introduce you guys Paitra Pleasant.
Hello, hello. My name is Paitra Pleasant. I have been in the advertising industry for 10 years. However, this year I definitely took a bold step for walking in purpose, and that is how I come across Miss Dammy here. And she's really just been able to really put in words and flat out like steps on the strategy of what does walking in purpose look like, whatever that might mean for you. So she's definitely affected my life in the most amazing way. So I'm just excited to be here with you all to talk about that. Again, I'm also a speaker, and I speak on purpose development as well as personal growth. And I'm just a purpose advocate in general. So that is me. Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much, Petra, for your introduction and just letting us know who you are in your own words and for the kind words that you shared about me as well. So I want you to take us back. Where were you before we kind of started talking more about what it is that you want to do? Like, let us kind of understand, like, where was your mindset at? What were you maybe trying to do? Maybe you weren't doing it yet. So, like, just paint that picture for us.
Okay, so like I mentioned, I've been in the advertising industry for 10 years, graduated from Texas State University, and I got my degree in public relations, which looking back, it was, you just never see at the time how God's kind of like setting up your story. But truthfully, for a long time, probably since college, I knew that speaking or being a speaker was a purpose of mine. And I never really understood the how. Like, how do I go about leaping? You hear the stepping out on faith, but nobody really ever kind of walks you through what those little building blocks are in order to really execute and walk in the purpose, whether that be spiritually, whether that be like tangible, step one, step two, step three. And there's a lot of things that go into it, right? Which is like mindset and all of that. So prior to coming across you in your program, it's like I always knew what the purpose was. So I never had trouble identifying why God had me here on this side of heaven, like what I'm supposed to be doing. It's just, I truly was reserved with my gift. I was very much like, this is my gift God gave me, and it's just mine. And just a little stingy about it. Like, I don't want to share it, very reserved. But also, not only reserved with my gift, but really, truly, maybe not knowing how to navigate going about being bold and walking in authority of it, or truly activating it into where once I'm really aligned and I'm putting action and momentum behind it, that you can really see God moving in it, whether it be with me and where I'm speaking, or it's like, okay, I know this is my purpose, but okay, now that I know what's next, what are those steps? Do I just go around? Like, what does that even look like? And truthfully, that's really where I was. I can say for at least 8 of those 10 years, my being a speaker, knowing that that's been my purpose has literally, and I hate to say this, Lord, forgive me, but it's just been in my back pocket. Like, I've always felt like, you know, once my career and life and stability, then I can give it more time. I was also at a place of like, my purpose is part time and not full time, or my purpose is secondary and not primary. And I think when I came across you, not only just how you walk in your purpose, being just a full on example, but I came across you, and not only was it the life spoken into me and over me, but truly like small steps of how to change my mindset on it, or, you know, what do my steps for my purpose look like? Because we all know everybody has different purpose on this. Like I'm a speaker, somebody could be a singer, somebody could be a doctor, somebody could be a healer. You know, everybody's, you know, purpose and rhyme and reason of being here is different. But sometimes you just don't know how to go about it. So yeah, that's kind of where I was prior to coming across you. I feel like I talked for a little minute, but
No,
that's where I
that's
was
what we
prior.
want. And I mean, I have some questions there for you as well. What do you think, or do you think that you were hiding? Because you said 8 out of the 10 years you were, putting it in your back pocket. Like, what do you think caused you to do that? And would you consider yourself to have been hiding? And in that time, I'm gonna add another question. Were you doing like some speaking here and there as well?
Okay, so from my point of view, I wouldn't call it hiding all the time. I call it reserved. Maybe some people might think that's just the same word, but to me, it's not. It's like, um, I would do some speaking events. So my very, to be quite honest, like really looking back of the journey with how God had been kind of revealing my purpose to me. My very first speaking event was actually, I was a senior in high school. I was a part of Avid, and I had the opportunity to go back to the middle school and speak to the middle school students about Avid, right? And so I was like, oh, this is great. Did my first speaking event. Mind you, I'm what, 18 at the time, maybe 17. And I was like, oh, look, I was able to give back, help the kids, tell them what Avid taught me. It was great. Then fast forward, I'm in college. I'm also in a sorority, and we had our sorority week, and I was helping a program for the week. And then my president of the sorority at the time was like, "Hey, you helped us, kind of pick this up. The ball was kind of dropped, but when you were helping us figure it out, like you really had some good points. We want you to be on the panel." So okay, I step in on the panel, and I've always been a person that when I speak, I'm not one to just kind of ramble or talk. If I'm going to speak, I speak with intention, I speak with purpose. And so I was sitting there on the panel with some of my other sorors, and I was like, I'm just like a fill in, right? But then my president at the time came and spoke in my ear, and she was like, "You really had good points. Don't be shy to speak up." Well, I was just thinking like I'm just here filling in. But as soon as she said that, for some reason it was like some type of go about it. And so when there were questions or I had thoughts and opinions, I stood up, I rose my head up, and I said my point.
Hey there, I hope that you are enjoying this episode. I wanted to be able to share an opportunity with you to work with me one on one. So by November 17th, I'm going to be coaching 5 women and helping them go from stagnant, hidden, lacking visibility to then becoming bold and taking actions to create new opportunities for themselves that align with their version of luxury. So if you already know what you're supposed to be doing, maybe you're supposed to be a speaker, maybe you're supposed to be podcasting or creating some kind of opportunity that is unique to you, but you haven't taken the action yet, I want to be able to work with you one on one. All you need to do is go to the description of this episode, fill out that Calendly link. That will give me an opportunity to get to know you and see how I could best help you. And if we are a good fit, we'll have a conversation together and then decide our next steps from there. So again, go to the Calendly link in the description, fill out the form completely. And if you are a good fit, we will have a conversation together and I can see how to best help you.
But then that was what the second one. Then the third one was after college, and there was an opportunity again. That I think after college, once it was really getting more clear that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, me and God really had an understanding of, hey, now that you understand, if if I provide something, will you say yes? Right? If I present an opportunity that comes across you, will you say yes or will you be scared? And that's the place I've really been in really since then. So I would have speaking opportunities, but it's just they were just so far and few in between. Opportunity was great, but then I'm not gonna lie, there we all have seasons of being lost in the wilderness or whatever have you. So then there was that in my life. But again, I always knew this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just put more focus on career during that season of being in the wilderness, so to speak. Like, I always kind of felt like maybe I had to have accolades and credentials career wise and stability before showing up in my purpose full throttle, right? However, even though that's my human understanding, I think God is God in all of his glory, and he just does not think like us or see things the way we do. So he definitely had a different plan. Not to say I didn't build my career and my accolades, but me thinking, oh, I have to get that to a certain point, paused the plan, or I delayed it, so to speak. And so it was a bit of fear mindset, but also not at all at the same time. Like, if God presented something, I was definitely past the point of like saying no. Like, I was past the fear point. Like, no, no, God, if you bring something, I'm gonna give it my yes, and I'm gonna go, regardless if I'm scared or not. However, when it kind of paused and my focus was on career instead of putting my purpose as the priority, that's just kind of where I was. And it just kind of got lost in the sauce when you don't keep your focus on what you're meant to do here. Not all the years I've built my career, they apply here. And you just got to pick up that same strength, pick up that same endurance, that same grind, and just place it towards your purpose. So that's kind of the season I've been in now, of course, working with you as well. So yeah, hiding, reserved, but it was just like you kind of get distracted, and along with being reserved, like, this is my
Mm-hmm.
gift, I don't want to tell anybody. That was a whole aspect as well, and that could have been some type of mechanism on hiding as well. But from my
Because we had
standpoint,
actually talked about that, if you
yeah,
can
from
remember.
my,
Like,
yeah, like, no, I don't want it. Like, because I was very, because it's something God gave you, right? That means nobody can take it away, nobody. But it was like, I was so tender with it. Like, I don't want anybody to, I was, if there was fear of how it would be perceived. Will
yes,
people think I'm holier than thou, self-righteous, or who does she think she is to speak, or she's had this type of past? What makes her? And it's just like, yeah, we all have a past, we all have a story, but it's about how you overcome it, move past it, and get in better alignment with God so that you can really do what you're set out to do, right? And so, but there was moments where I just was very active, and again, like I said, being making my purpose a priority and putting more intention into it. I just wasn't there yet until this
mm.
year.
So then what was the change this year? Like, why was this the year that something has got to change and now I have to start seeing results? Because at a certain point, we started talking more. We work in the same industry, so I get to see you pretty often, and we started talking a little bit more about you and what you're doing. And I kept telling him, like, your voice, there's something about your voice. Like, I still tell you to this day, your voice is so beautiful. Like, and just the wisdom, the knowledge that you have. I'm like, man, this
Me,
girl
you
needs to be
gotta.
a speaker. It's true. It's a gift. So, what was it about this year that made you decide I have got to be more intentional about showcasing this? And then we'll start there, and then I have another question
Okay,
after that. But yeah.
I love this question. I'm gonna give some context on my life a little bit. The last 2 years, two almost three, I had hit a very rough patch in 2023. Cannot stand that year. It's too much going on. A lot of change in love life, change in career. And I would even say personally on how I felt about myself, it was a rough year. 2023 was very rough. And then at the top of 2024, I just shook myself up out of that. Like, sometimes it takes a year. Sometimes you are in that rut of a season, right? Where you do have to allow God to love on you. And that's what I did in 2023. And then it was more so like, okay, God, I'm here, I'm ready, I've cried, I've sat, I've reflected, and this is what I want to do. And so that's when the change really started happening at the top of 2024. And I wanted to get my discipline back right. So that's actually where it initially started. Me and God were working on my discipline and my endurance, right? Whether that be in the gym with fitness, whether it's like, what do we find joyous in life? We need to be, disciplined and being intentional on providing those things outside of, you know, always waiting on things to happen for us to be happy or feel joy, right? So just working on that. So last year, 2024, the word I think, or just overarching theme, was discipline. But then this year, I was fasting at the top of the year, and I remember we talked about. I was like, "Oh, I'm reading this book called The Awe of God," and it just invigorated me about God's glory and how it's bigger than anything we could ever imagine, and that it's so big that we almost can't really take his glory like that, right? And it's just like, if God is that big and we are made in his image, it did something when I was fasting, and I was like, what? And I always fast at the top of the year. And I'm like, okay, so what is this year about? I knew last year I was clear it was discipline. So what's this year's journey about, Lord, right? And then some months went by, then that opportunity for me to speak back in my alma mater. And that's when me and you kind of talk. And I was like, I'm a speaker. And I got the opportunity to speak. And it was great. And I took it. And I just felt so alive again. And then I just was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done playing small with my purpose when God has obviously made me in his image, and it's meant to be used. It's not meant to sit on a shelf like a collectible and just this precious thing that collects does. Like, that's not how it works. As I'm growing closer with God and getting more clear in what he reveals to me, that's just not how it works. Sometimes it is inconvenient to me, or like it does push me
Hmm.
outside of my human self. Like, I don't really want to go speak, or all the things that it's going to take me to do this, I don't have. And you do. And it's like, it's either you don't do and you delay, or you do and then you never know the outcome of who you're going to touch or really see God
Hmm.
working in the moment. Like, for me, this whole year of being intentional and walking in purpose with God, the most brilliant, amazing, joyous part for me is not even like me having these opportunities to speak, right? It's the journey with God that's like got me kikiing, like that's why I go and continue to also do it, because it's like, if I do this, what does he have next? And I'm like
Mm,
so excited, so curious, like, boom, I did
yes.
this one. What's next? And it's always something. And it's like, you think like, yeah, God's amazing. No, but like when you really rocking with him and you're in the trenches and you see his work and how he works, it's like, oh, okay. Like it's like, what is next? I don't know, but I'm here and I'm curious to find out. You had talked about boldness. I'm telling you, it was all around the time when I was finishing up my fast. It just kind of all hit at the same time. I was like, okay, intention. And then you had mentioned walking in authority and boldness. And I was like, okay, these are the themes this year, and this is what we're gonna have to do. And so working with you, along with just staying aligned and focused and connected with God, and not being afraid to take advantage of opportunities, as well as looking for moments to create them. I think we've talked about this, where this year
It's
was
good.
really the
Yeah.
season of like, say you're, and again, he's our heavenly father, right? So I'm sitting here like, say you're in the house with your dad and there's a piece of tissue on the floor or some type of trash, right? And you are thinking, I'm just gonna walk by it, and then it's like, whose trash is that? It's like, it's not my trash, but why do I have to wait to tell you? And I
Mm,
felt like that's
hmm.
how God was with me in this season of my purpose, right? So prior, like I
Yeah.
mentioned, oh, I'm waiting on him to bring the opportunity, and I'll say yes. And that was great at the initial season we were in, right? Of understanding, this is your purpose, Petra. This is what I want you to do. Okay. I'm just gonna say yes. Will you say yes to me? Yes, God, I'll say yes to you. And then this season, it was more so like, but why I gotta tell, if you already know like if you know what you're supposed to do, why I gotta present opportunity? Why you don't go out there and make opportunities happen?
Create one.
I
Yeah.
create one. If you know it's something there, pick it up. I shouldn't have to tell you to pick it up. So this is where when I say we, because I keep saying we, me, myself, and I, and God, this is where we are in our journey. That's what this year was about. So I was like, okay, my mindset had to be aligned, clear, as well as um also personal. I'm very sober as well, and not saying like I was like some belligerent drunk, but in the world's already noisy, and then we all have the foods we eat, how we act, and you could
Yeah.
just be doing happy hours, whatever. But I also decided, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because at
Yeah.
the top of this year I also decided like there was no more drink. When I say no more drinking, the way I ate, it's almost as if God in 2024, with the fitness and how I showed up for myself, not only with things I wanted to do, but my body, it's like he really put me in the right place to be, when I say sober minded, ears open, eyes open, mind open, for me to be able to see the opportunities that need to be created. Because I'm not going to lie, prior, that's why that I'm not. That's why he got to send me the opportunities, because I'm not going to clearly see them in that season I was in.
Mm,
But
mm-hmm. Yeah.
now that I'm truly, when I say sober minded, I can hear, I can see, I could be like, oh, I think I see God moving over there in the background. Like, okay, I don't know. He's over there mixing up dust over there. I don't know what he's, doing over there, but I can kind of see the momentum coming, but I can't say that prior to this year in this season,
Mm-hmm.
am I the one to create those opportunities? That's where we are. Yes.
So there's a couple of things that I'm hearing from you. No, there's a couple of things that I'm hearing from you in regards to what made you ready, I would say, for this year. So you had already been going on a journey in regards to, changing your own mindset about where you were, your relationship with God was changing. So it kind of prepped you to now, like you said, create new opportunities and actually see new opportunities. And I feel like that's a huge thing, being able to see when there's an opportunity in front of you. I actually tell people this, that for me, I used to pray because I knew I had a seeing problem. And there's a skill set that you need to be able to recognize that there is something in front of you. So I would love for you to even now talk about, we started talking a little bit more, especially when you got that first, I
Mhm.
believe around that time you got that first engagement. So when we started working together, what were some of the things that I would say, like some of the results that you got? Because you already created a whole bunch of results, like before we started speaking about like, speaking and all that stuff. But what were some of the things that you gained when we started working with each other?
There's so much. Since we're on the subject of seeing opportunities, I want to start there,
Hmm. Go ahead.
because
Yeah.
working with you, like again, God positioned me to be sober minded, right? To be able to figure
Hmm.
out what those opportunities were. But working with you, you made me see it not only like, oh, that's an opportunity, talk to these people, but even internally, like in regards to strategy, because this is something else we were talking about. Okay, this is where I was afraid. I really was afraid of the personal branding part of my
Hmm. Hmm.
purpose, because I'm thinking, no, I just want to go and speak. And if people see me, they see me. If they don't, they don't. And then let the opportunities come authentically. Like, that's what I want to do. However,
Hmm.
me and you spoke, and you mentioned you have to start telling people. But prior to telling people digitally on social, I was like, Dammy's right, So I just, on my own, before I put on like social world, right? I was like, I'm just gonna go to these places. I'm just gonna let them know I'm a speaker. Like, that's just what it is. I'm a speaker. And those truly, like, at first I was so timid about it too. It was so cute, y'all. It was hilarious. Like, I would go places, they're like, hi, I'm, Bob, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Paitra, I'm a speaker. That was like the first time I said it. Oh, what do you speak about? Oh, and then I would kind of, I was real timid about it. Then I started just doing it some more and some more. And then the second opportunity came. And this is when I was like, oh, Dammy is right. Like, regardless if I haven't put it on social yet, Dammy said, you need to tell people who you are and what you do. You need to tell people or they won't know. And I said, Dammy's right. So I had actually caught up with a soror and a college friend who's really a good friend. And she was in Dallas and we were just, catching up. It's been some years. And we had got on the subject of purpose. And then I'm like, well, girl, I'm a speaker. She had mentioned, oh, she's going back to her alma mater to speak as well. And I said, oh, I got to speak at the top of the year. You'll enjoy it. And she was like, well, since you said your purpose and you're a speaker, girl, I'm going to see if there's extra room on this panel. Next thing you know, the opportunity moved quickly. And I said, and that was just from me saying I am a speaker, letting people know who I am. And
Mm.
but the more I did it, the more confident I got in it and just more ownership of it. And then I'm really doing it. And that moment right there with the second opportunity to speak, it's quickly like every week is
Quick.
something now. So
Yep.
then when that opportunity came, right, and you were like, okay, this time you really got to get some content. And I was like, oh, this is when Dammy's gonna push me to get content. I don't really want to do it. And I was like, who am I gonna do it? Who's it? And then I'm like, oh wait, my friend, she has her and her husband have, a photography, production, videography business. Let me just see. Now, mind you, I knew about this opportunity for like 2 weeks, right? And I didn't even think to ask my friend, like, would you mind coming down here with me and getting me some content, right? But until you said something, I'm like, I guess. But even then, that was an opportunity of not only fellowshipping, community, but collaboration. And what I will say that I've also been understanding more about God this year for sure is God works in community and collaboration. We are
That's
supposed to
good.
fellowship.
Yeah.
We're supposed to know, what do you have? What are your resources? How has God worked in your life? This is how he's working in mine. And it's to just also remind us that he's full fledged, like he's still alive, he's still working, he's still moving, right? And so when you said that, I'm like, oh, that's even an opportunity itself. So it's not just after working with you, like, oh, you really, I don't know, you really gave me the how on like, this is how you create opportunities, whether it's opportunities for collaboration, whether it's opportunities for other people, right? And even then in that, my friend, she's also in advertising that was on the panel. She was like, because my friend got some content of her a little bit too, because we were sitting next to each other on the panel. And she was like, girl, this stuff is so good. I might need to put them up with some of my clients. Creating creating opportunities to collaborate for her to come get content of me still provided a open window of opportunity for
Somebody
her
else.
and her husband's business in the industry that we're in. There might be brands, there might be clients people have. You never know. We're an ad. You never know when you need somebody for a production shoot, a content creator shoot. You don't know when you'll need photography, all that stuff. And it's good to just have these resources. So that was one of the first things I think I learned from you was be bold, tell people what you do. You have to tell them whether in person or digitally. And then when I did get my content and I put it out there, I just didn't think I would get the response nor even more opportunities. Because then the next opportunity came. They wanted me to speak at the summit, which was global. And then after
Yeah.
that, the Le Book wanted me to judge, be a juror of like the advertising work and creative stuff. And it's just opportunity after opportunity.
Opportunity.
And they rolling in like weekly. And it's like,
Week. So
oh,
I want to pause real quick because I want to really highlight some things that you said, right? Especially with us, like just me being able to see this process in real time, and even be on the roller coaster ride with you. And it's literally like every week there is something exciting happening. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, what is God going to do next?
I never knew just me opening my mouth saying, like just saying it. Like I knew it. I've known it. I've known it. It's just me and God knowing this. But who knew just starting up? Tell people what you do. Tell people what you do. Not what you're trying to
So
do. No, really tell people what you do.
with that point, that's actually one of the first things that I want to say. And I think that's part of the luxury state of mind thought process thinking, because we have the different principles: identity, intentionality, and freedom of choice, identity being one. The first thing is ownership, is what I hear from you, like taking
Yeah.
ownership of who you are as a person. It's one thing to say it to yourself quietly and have this little kiki with God, but like when you're able to actually express it out to other people and say it boldly, you are accepting your identity. You are accepting, of course, you can do this privately, but to be able to put it on display, it's I'm now taking ownership of what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Second thing that I loved that you said was the collaboration aspect. And I think that shows when we step into what we're called to do, when we live in our version of luxury, we are not, it's not only for ourselves. And that's the bigger thing here. And I want people to understand it's never just for yourself, but it is to serve other people. And at times when you step into what it is that you're called to do and who you are, you actually provide opportunity for other people. So if you don't step into something, other people don't get to eat. But when you do step into it and you are doing whatever it is that your version of luxury is or what your purpose is, then other people get to benefit from those experiences. So those are just a couple of things. And I think in just our conversations, from what it seems like, it's like your mind has expanded to what could be now. Before it was, okay, we want to keep this, on a shelf and keep it small. But now, to me, your mind has become what else can be done? What other opportunity? It's now you're actively looking for opportunities. And that's one of the main things that I want to be able to support people on, is how to create opportunities that align with who they're called to be, with their purpose, with their version of luxury. So I just love those things as you were
No,
talking.
girl, I I tell everybody about you. I'm like, Dammy Dom. That's what I call her, everyone. Dammy Dom. I'm like, she just is amazing. Because again, like
Thank
I
you.
said, just being in your orbit, right? Watching God move through you, and you taking ownership of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And it's just like, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. And I'm just like, well, I know if the Lord working for her, I know he about to work for me, so I might as well stop playing. And I think sometimes we all need to, like, on some real, we all are playing with ourselves sometimes. And it's like, if you're playing with your own self, you're going to give other people outside of you that authority to play with you as well. And to be quite honest, I don't want to play about me, because God don't play about me. And I want to have that respect and honor for myself, which means other people can do that to me too. Like, I don't really play with other people like that. I don't. Like, I know we're all human and stuff, but you gotta leave people alone. Like, stop playing with people. Just let everybody be, let everybody grow, let everybody learn, give people grace, give people patience, so that they can quickly get aligned to what they're trying to do, so that you can stay aligned with what you're trying to do, and we can all keep this show on the road.
Mm, come on. That is so funny. Um, I want to ask you, and just for somebody who may be listening, they've heard what you've said, they've heard the amazing things that you've been able to accomplish. I mean, you've been able to speak at university multiple times. You've been asked to do a master class for a global audience. You've been on a board already for to be a judge for like a program that is in your industry. So you are
Girl,
actually
the way
seen
you
as an
running it back, I'm
expert.
like so shocked that this is me. Like, it sounds like you're talking about somebody else. You know, when people give like, oh, welcome, such and such, the most Grammy nominated. This isn't Grammys. This is the
Child.
but
And this is
that's what it
like,
sounds like you're lining up. And I'm like, I know she's not talking about me, but I'm
it's
like,
you,
yeah,
baby. And it's only been about 2 months, if that you've been able to do all this, and there's still more.
girl.
Like, yes, like it just keeps going. But if somebody is maybe on the fence of, okay, can Dami really help me? Can she help me get to where it is that I think I'm supposed to be. What would you say to the person that may be considering working with me, being in my orbit, as you said, that just needs that extra push that, okay, she's that girl, work with her?
First and foremost, the question, what I would say, yes, work with you. Because even if, say, someone is like me, right? Someone that was reserved or putting things on a shelf, like, so it's like it's not that you don't know. So you obviously are aware and know the power that you have. You just not activating it, right? But if you're sitting there asking yourself, how, you already know the what, but you're trying to figure out the how. Dami is your girl to give you the how. At least, like, if you're like, oh, I only have steps 1 and 2, Dami's like, cool. Have you thought of steps 3 through 10? Because these are the next steps. And so some people need that. Not only that, being around you in your orbit, you being an example, being an authentic example of what you're trying to do for others, because you are doing it actively for yourself. Just being in that, being around that, it will rub off. Like watching you own up to what you do, your coaching programs, the events you put on for yourself. And I said, this girl is amazing. She's amazing. She's getting it done. She's not scared. I'm like, you don't get scared. You're like, girl, yeah, but it's got to get done. I said, okay, no, that's, that's, I want some of that. I want some of that to rub off on me. I want some of that character building. So, yeah, if you're out there and you already know what your purpose is and you're sitting on it, or you don't understand the how, but you're ready to step into that, you're gonna need strategy. You really are, because Dami has the strategy to the how, because the results come from that. It's great to be this powerful thing, right? It's great to know you have this in you, but you do need it to be watered for it to grow. And Dami has that for you. So I'm telling you, like, I don't know if you got to book a call, do something, start small, start wherever you need to. But she has the how. She has the how to help you do one step at a time, to put one brick on the next. You see what didn't happen to me, and all I did was open my mouth and start having ownership and telling people I am a speaker, instead of it's just me and God knowing that I am a speaker. No, tell people you're a speaker. Tell people you're a healer. Tell people, go, I don't know, singer. I don't know what y'all, a painter. I don't know. You are a community organizer. You are a collaborating connoisseur. I don't know. Somebody need to hashtag that, collaborating connoisseur. Maybe I should.
Love that.
But like, if that is who you are, if that is who you are, if that is what you do, one, step into it on your own. Say it out loud for yourself. At first, I really was just telling people I'm a speaker so that I could get myself used to just telling people. Because I was way used to telling people. I was used to this me and God over here. This our little secret. Y'all can't mess with it, right? No, let people know. And to be honest, as soon as you do, Dami will give you the how. Dami and God will help that work that out with y'all. Because it hey, when did we? It's really only been a few months. It's really only been a few months that all of this amazing stuff has happened. Dami is the how to activate that purpose in you. Like, you know it, but you need like some gas or something to like get the gears going. That's Dami Dom. Y'all need to call Dami Dom.
Dami
Call her.
Doms. If
Dami
you
Dom.
listen to the podcast, put Dami Doms in the chat. Oh, no, this is so exciting. And thank you so much. It's just, to me, being able to witness this is just, it's blowing me away. And I want to know, and I'm sure people also want to know, like, what are you excited for next? What do you think you can create next, or that you would, yeah, just be excited to experience?
Well, next, no, I'm excited to see where this will take me. I'm excited for more opportunities for sure. Some of these, again, some of these opportunities, the way God moving out here global, it has a mind, it's changing my mind. It
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens when I think big and not small. Not only when it comes to myself, but my purpose. Because if I think big, I already know God is thinking bigger. Because I was thinking small and He had me speak at a global virtual summit. What? So, and I remember me and you had this conversation. I was like, "Ah, I would love to do a TEDx one day." You're like, girl, that's nothing. And I'm thinking, that's big. But now I sat here and did a masterclass. I'm like, dang, is Dammy right? Maybe it ain't nothing. Like, if I just sat here and figured out how to do a masterclass, TEDx can't be far. So I don't know if you know
Can't be
people.
far.
Can't be far. TEDx people. I don't know if you know people. Hi, my name is Paitra Pleasant. I am a speaker. Have your people call my people. Let's set something up. But who knows?
I love it.
Who knows at this point? So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens when I think big with my purpose and see how God turns that out. Cause yo, the little thinking I was doing, He done shocked me. Shocked. Shocked. Everybody else isn't surprised. It's just me. That's another thing. Like everybody's like, this has you all over it. I'm like, it does? When
Yeah,
was
because that
somebody
beautiful
gonna tell
voice.
me? Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that beautiful voice. But we're, I mean, I'm shocked at the pace. I'm like, man, what it means to take ownership of your identity, be intentional about some things, and choose every moment where you have the opportunity to choose to do what you're supposed to. Opportunities come from everywhere.
everywhere. Uh, everywhere. But no, Dami, you're amazing. Love working with you. Going to continue to work with you. Wherever I go, you go at this point. Cause I'm like, ooh, what? How? Let me sit down with my strategist at this point. We need to think this through. What are the different areas of opportunity here? We got lane A, lane B, lane C. Okay, we got some lanes. Let's work this thing out.
Funny. I love it. Where can we stay connected with you? So if people are like, okay, what is Petra going to be doing next? I want to know. Where can we find you?
Yes, please stay connected with me via LinkedIn. Just search my name, Paitra Pleasant, Paitra, last name Pleasant, Pleasant. But yeah, no, just find me on LinkedIn. Connect with me if there's any opportunities, any speaking opportunities for young girls, colleges, or global events. You just let me
Yeah,
know. Just ping me on LinkedIn and I'll be excited to connect and collaborate and see, what kind of impact we can do together. So LinkedIn's it.
I love that. And I will have your social in the description so people can easily find you and follow you on LinkedIn. So thank you so much, Petra. This was
No, thank
a
you, Dottie.
rich conversation. It was amazing. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Appreciate you.
Luxury State of Mind.
Thank you. All right, that is the end of the episode of today. And if you are interested in working with me one on one, I am taking on 5 one on one clients by Monday, November 17th. And you'll have the opportunity to work with me for 6 weeks to be able to first dive into that identity piece, that ownership opportunity. How can you take ownership of who you've been called to be and what you've been called to do? From there, being intentional about how you're doing it, making those bold steps, and then being able to choose in every opportunity that comes to you what you'll be able to do so you can create your opportunities for yourself. So if that is something that aligns with you, you can schedule a call. My Calendly link will be in the description of this episode, and we can have a conversation and see how to best serve you. So thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I will speak to you on the next one. Bye.